What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to 49 Faithfully. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Teran Lewis. TL, what's up, my guy? How you doing? Happy
I'm
Wednesday.
I'm doing good. Yeah, going off of these comments. Yeah, Ty, I'm gonna drop a diss track. Anybody on here that doesn't agree with my opinion, I'm dissing you, okay? Because how dare you have your own opinion? You don't agree with me? There's a diss track coming.
Chat, what's up? Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Wednesday. Hashtag FF to get into the first giveaway. Throwback, first in the door. Appreciate you. Got Don in the house. What's up, sis? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. Let's see. We are talking about some stuff. So let me get through that. 49 throwback was tricking me, making me think the basketball game was on, and it wasn't. Maria, what's up, Maria? Chrissy, good to see you, Chrissy. Hope you're well. What up, Danny? All right, so as people stroll in, the first giveaway, hashtag FF. Let me show y'all what we're giving away today. One thing, I did post a picture, but I had to switch out one thing. But you guys will see what we got. All right, so this is what we're giving away today. I'll just go through them real fast. The first giveaway is for the numbered rookie card Drake Jackson and rookie card Jair Brown. Second giveaway will be for Debo Prismatic, George Kittle Prismatic, and Fred Warner. And then the last giveaway will be for who we got here upside down. CMC Fireworks. We got a numbered Jake Moody rookie card. We got the man, Brock Purdy. And we got the Patrick Willis sticker from my guy, Inspector Dabbit. Real quick, Inspector Dabbit is running a sale for the month of May for 15% off your purchase. So if you go to faithfulgear209.com, the info is in the description box of this video as well, but that's the website, faithfulgear209.com, and use the code FB15 off. You'll get 15% off your entire purchase, I believe. And that special is good the entire month of May. If you purchase from him, once May is passed, there is another coupon code for $5 off in the description of all my videos. So you guys can always find his info there. He makes those stickers. He makes all kinds of 49ers gear, shirts, pictures. If you guys see like right above my head, this Trent Williams picture right here, he did that. And he can do it doesn't have to be 49ers stuff. If you guys see something, if you guys have an idea that you want for 49ers, something that he doesn't have, he could always make it up for you. He can make other teams, baseball, hockey, basketball, whatever, you name it. Just take your idea to him and he can draw it up for you. So yeah, make sure you guys reach out to him. Let me see who else we got in here. Did I even say hi to Ty, or I just went right past him? Because he was talking about a diss track, and then I just passed his ass up. That's your diss, boy.
That is your diss. That's funny. That's funny.
Jedi, bang bang Niner gang. What's up? What's up? All right, so hashtag FF to get into that first giveaway. I'll give you guys a couple minutes. If nobody else gets in, then it'll just be the few of you that you're here. That's the whole point of starting off with a giveaway. So there's not too much going on in, football world right now. But what we are going to do is, and we did this last season too, and we talked about this, it's always crazy. I think that the NFL, they grade the draft picks right away. Like, the day after the draft picks are in, oh, this team got an A, this team got a B, and they've like kind of programmed everybody into that. It's like we're grading picks that we have no clue what these guys are going to be in the NFL,
Yeah.
right? So last year around this time, we did this on a show where we went back and looked at all Kyle and John's drafts and now graded them since, there's been time to see what these guys are. So now that it's been another year, we're going to go back and I'll pull up, starting with 2017, and we'll go through and look at the drafts and see now what we decide these drafts grades are, because I'm sure they were night and day difference of what they're going to be now compared to then. Because I was looking through some real quick, and like there's some drafts where 95% of the players aren't even on the team anymore. So it'll definitely be interesting to look at that. Before we get into that, though, I did want to start off with the 49ers put out an announcement today that John Taylor was inducted into the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame. So I just wanted to start off with, we know the legend that he is. That's, a huge accomplishment, obviously, to be put into any Hall of Fame, right? So we know, obviously, the Bay Area is important to him, what he means to the Bay Area, and to have him, put into the Bay Area Hall of Fame. That's an awesome thing. So any comments on that?
I think the only surprising thing is I'm surprised it took this long, to be honest. But I mean, either way, I'm happy that he's in there. He was a crucial part of those, 80s and 90s football teams, for the 49ers, and helped us get a couple Super Bowls and stuff. So yeah, I love me some John Taylor. And he's one of those guys too, you know, there's hardly any other people who wear his number,
Yeah,
on the team. So
that is true. That is true. All right, let's do the first giveaways. Only 4 people in there, so you guys got a good
yeah,
chance.
yeah.
Dang, something blew in my eyeball.
You got your window open upstairs?
No, I got the air on.
Oh,
Shit, it's hot.
oh, well, hmm.
But I have the fan blowing, so it had like
Oh,
just like
maybe some
passed
dust
through,
got up in there.
probably.
Crazy.
All right. So I'm gonna draw the numbered Drake Jackson first, and then we'll draw the Jair Brown second. So good luck to those that are in there, those 4 of you, early birds. Early bird gets the giveaway, as Ty said. Good luck. Maria. Maria cleans house around here.
She really does.
Congrats, Maria. All right, Jair Brown. I was talking with somebody on Twitter, X, whatever, earlier today, and it has said that this is the most excited with the rookie safety. Congrats, Ty. With the rookie safety, and then obviously with Jair Brown and Huff, I was like, this is the most excited I've been for a 49ers safety room since I
Like
can't even freaking remember, since
Dante Whitner
away.
and
Yeah.
Deshaun Golson, maybe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's like 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. And now like I'm that's probably let me think. Like just as a quick run through, that's probably the position group I'm the most excited about is the safeties. And that's very rare for me.
Yeah.
Let me set up this second giveaway real quick so you guys can start getting in there. The second giveaway again is going to be for Fred Warner, Debo, and Kittle. Hashtag smile.
This is so much better than trying to find the numbers and who was over
Oh
under.
my gosh, yes. So much easier, quicker, saves
Yes.
so much freaking time. All right, hashtag smile to get into the second set of giveaways. Hashtag smile. Let me put out a little message here. All right. Oh, not that. All right. All right. All right. Yes, Dawn agrees. I'm sure it's easier for y'all too. um, all right. So the next thing I want to talk about, came out yesterday. Let me pull up the exact quote of the dumbass so I don't mess it up here.
Huh.
All right. So trending. Sources tell me Jerry Jones is pushing hard for the Cowboys to open the season on Sunday Night Football on the road against the 49ers. Per source, Jerry made a few phone calls to Goodell and Troy Vincent about starting in Santa Clara on Sunday Night Football. Jones said he wants to show the world what his team is about and wants to do that early. Now, this is coming off of probably one of the worst off seasons the Cowboys have had. And throughout the whole thing, Jerry sits there and says, we're all in, we're all in, we're all in. Now he wants to start the season on the road against the 49ers so he can show the world what his team is all about. Is he fucking senile? Like, I usually think the Cowboys fans are crazy, but
starts from the top, right?
Exactly.
Starts from the top. Wow. Yeah, I didn't see that quote, but love the confidence. Okay, first and foremost, like I love people who are confident, but at times you got to look at confidence versus reality. And all that tells me is he wants to show the world how much he sucks early in the season. And let me show the world how terrible we are to start week 1 against the 49ers on the road on Sunday Night Football. I mean, that's crazy. Like, where in the last few years have you shown that you have our number? Like, where it's not like it's not like they came in there and they, our last couple of games and they've dominated us and all this other stuff. But man, to sit there and be like, oh, I want to show the world how good my team is. Like their best, I think, other than their draft pick, like I love their draft pick and Tyler Guyton. That was a guy I was targeting in the first round for tackle. Other than that, their best person on paper is Eric Kendricks, who was supposed to come to us in the first place.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "No, I'm gonna go to Dallas. 'Cause I'm more familiar with that D coordinator." And then they're happy. They're sitting here celebrating like they're getting a 2015 Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, that Ezekiel Elliott that you should have been happy about, ain't coming back from 9 years ago. You know what I mean? When he was a rookie and was dominating. So
Yeah.
hey, like I said,
Like, you guys
I
let
love
him
your
go for a
confidence.
reason, remember?
Yeah, exactly. Like I love your confidence. I'll never sit there and dog people out for being confident, but then there goes from confidence to reality. Just like we had that one guy, and I talked to him on Spaces. He's a cool dude. I can't remember the guy who raps for the 49ers. You know who I'm
Oh,
talking about.
uh-huh.
When he sat there and went on X, Twitter, whatever, and challenged Eminem to a rap battle on the 50-yard line at halftime. Come on, brother. Like, I love your confidence, but you get absolutely destroyed. And that's what
Yeah.
this feels like. That's what this feels like. Jerry Jones putting out there that he's gonna come on and he wants us. Oh yeah, I want 49ers week 1 Sunday night for Travis King. There you go, Steve-O. Yeah, it's like
You
him.
should have
Like,
said the
come on.
Eagles or,
Yeah,
somebody that you have a better chance of
yeah.
at least beating.
Yeah, like even if you, I mean, I don't know who's on their schedule, but even if you sit there and said like somebody like the Packers or somebody who dominated you in the playoffs or something,
Yeah.
not the Niners who have dominated you the last couple of years, and I
Every
get it.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that, but hey, like I said, when you thought the fans were senile and delusional, it starts at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Ty. He challenged Eminem on the 50-yard line in our playoff game to come down the field and have a rap battle. I thought that was foolishness.
What's up, Dion? What's up, Steve-O? What's up, Shu? Man, yeah. So
Yeah.
speaking of people being overconfident, a couple receivers that were on the 49ers the last couple years have had something to say on social media since they have since departed. And it started with Willie Snead.
Mhm.
He had a lot of tweets to put out the other day. I guess maybe, since he is jobless, he has some time on his hands. He and one of the tweets said, "All I want is to go back to a team that isn't afraid to let guys compete for a roster spot. These last 3 years have been nothing short of entitlement. Competition breeds champions." And then Ray Ray, who can't fall on top of the ball, who's trying to scoop up a loose fucking muffed punt in the Super Bowl playoffs, whatever the fuck it was.
Mhm.
Then retweets that and says, "God always comes through. Finding your people make you realize there was nothing ever wrong with you." So, Willie Snead, the only team that even gave him opportunity the last 3 years, he wants to then leave them now and talk shit about them. Like, if it wasn't for us, he wouldn't have been to the playoffs. He wouldn't have been to the Super Bowl. Like, all this shit, right? Now wants to act like what? He was better than who on the roster that he thinks there wasn't a competition with? Debo and Ayuk? Juwan Jennings? Like, who is he trying to say that he's better than, that he should have been above on the depth chart, that there was no competition for?
Mhm. Oh, these gentlemen.
Danny Gray?
Um, yeah,
Like, people that we drafted that
Ronnie Bell.
you think
Yeah.
they're just going to get drafted and the second, the third, whatever round, and the team's going to say, "Okay, we're going to kick you guys off for some scrub that we picked up from another team's basement." Like,
Mhm.
I'm not understanding. Like, the team that gave you a shot for all these opportunities, that has paid your ass to just sit on the bench and not do shit and literally
Mhm.
do nothing. And now you're going to say that there was no competition because, like, entitlement.
Mhm. Where do I start here? Okay, I think his Willie Snead's opinion, or whatever you want, his statement, I guess you can say, would be more understandable if Chris Conley didn't come in here and get playing time. He was in the same situation. He was a
Mm-hmm.
vet, he was looking for a job. And he came in here and he got snaps. He got snaps in critical times. So, and the thing that's funny about it is, it'd be different if you went in there for a year and they were like, "Man, I was better than the fourth guy, but because of politics." And don't get it twisted. Now, there's politics in locker rooms. Even down to high school, there's politics. Oh, I'm gonna give him snaps because his dad's a teacher or whatever. Like, let's don't get it twisted. But at the same time, like I said, you were there for 3 years. So why didn't you realize that year one? Why didn't you play there the
Yeah,
first
why'd you
year and be
keep
like,
coming
man,
back?
why'd you keep coming back? Yeah. So if you were there for a year, and I get it. Like, if you were there for a year and you were like, man, I was better in practice, and I get it. It's practice. Like, we're talking about game snaps. But if you sit there and you really believed I was better than Juwan Jennings, I was better than Chris Conley, I was better than, the name. It goes down the line. If you were better than these receivers and they were just sitting you on the bench because you were just like, oh, because you pissed them off, whatever the case may be, then it doesn't sound valid, brother, because you were there for multiple seasons. So that's something that you should have realized year one, in my opinion. But like I said, then you bring in these other guys like a Conley and stuff like that. And two, you sit there and you look at it, you know, Kyle's all about how hard you work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying Willie Snead didn't work hard, but we had a situation where we had Mohamed Sanu and Trent Sherfield ahead of Brandon Ayuk. So
Exactly.
these comments to me
He
sound
was drafted in
foolish.
the first fucking round.
Yeah. So
So
these comments to me sound foolish. They sound bitter. And I'm not saying that what he's saying could not be wrong. But my thing is, why even come out and say stuff like that when you've been dealing with it for 3 years? Now that you're not on the team, now you're coming out with this nonsense. So yeah, it sounds like you're just being bitter, Sneed and Ray Ray, like just because of the fact that you guys are not on the team no more. Now you're scared. I mean, now you feel like you're brave enough and you're gonna beat on your chest and speak
mhm,
out about it. Just sounds crazy. Like it'd be different. Like I'd give you more respect if you said it while you're on the team. Hey, I'm
yeah,
better. I mean, and I get it. You don't want to make a big deal out of stuff. At the same time, if you're sitting there and you're like, hey, you know what? I just want the opportunity. Like I feel like there's guys. You don't have to call out names, but hey, I
mhm,
just feel like there's guys on this team who I'm outworking. I'm showing that I'm better than, but this team's not giving me an opportunity. So like it'd be different if you were like, hey, release me so I can go elsewhere. And if you were that good, other teams would have been beating at your door to sign you.
right.
So I mean, you got somebody like a Pearsall, who is our first draft pick in 2024, and I can guarantee you, Kyle's not sitting there telling him, hey, you know, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to beat out a Ayuk and a Debo. I doubt it. He's coming there like right now. You're fourth on the depth chart, and you got
Mhm.
to work your way up or whatever. I don't know. It's just it's crazy to me. It doesn't make any sense to say that after sticking somewhere for 3 years when no other team was beating on the door. And wasn't he on the practice squad at one time?
Yeah, and
So
Snead
you're on
was
the
only on
so,
a 1-year deal,
yeah,
1-year deal, 1-year
yeah.
deal, so it's
So
not
you
like he was
yeah,
locked here under freaking lock
exactly.
and key and
And you're
couldn't
on
get out, you know?
exactly, and you're on the practice squad at one time. So you easily could have been picked off. Like, oh man, I saw that Snead he's that dude. He can be my number 4 receiver. So I
Like,
mean,
his
no,
old
that didn't
team, the
happen.
Steelers, didn't he played for the Steelers?
I know the Saints for sure, and I think he did play for the Steelers actually.
And I think the
Yeah,
Ravens.
yeah,
But the
Ravens too.
Steelers,
Yep.
like at one point, they had wide receivers not even running routes. They're out there
Hmm.
fucking walking, wouldn't block, wouldn't do shit, and they're not coming to pick you up. Like there's teams that needed wide receivers throughout the season. They didn't come and get your ass any of the
Yeah,
years, you know? So
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. It just sounds like he's real bitter, and
And
like I
then Ray
said,
Ray, he
uh,
had an opportunity to actually do something. Remember when Debo was out and we
mhm,
used Ray Ray in like those end arounds and the shit that Debo usually does, and he did absolutely zero squat shit. So
yeah,
it's like you're crying that oh this and that blah blah blah, but yet when you're given an opportunity to do something, you don't.
yeah,
So it's like had you done something with the opportunities you were given, maybe you
hmm,
would be given more opportunities.
yeah.
I don't
Because I
know,
can, yeah,
maybe.
because I can bet you talk to Throwback, to Collie, to Ty, any of these dudes on here, and you say, man, I was in a situation for a year where where I knew I was the fourth best receiver, and they didn't give me an opportunity. I guarantee you, all of us would leave and look for a different opportunity. Because then you'd feel some type of way like, oh, okay, so I see the get down with this team. There's a lot of favoritism, there's politics, which happens. But like I said, you were there for 3 years, brother, and now you're saying it. So it looks like you're just being bitter because now you're not on the team. So now you feel like you can say something. Because I
Right now,
doubt,
like I
and
said.
yeah, and like I said, you can outwork people, which is cool, but you still got to put it on the football field. Just because you're running your routes real crisp and drills, are you doing that in game situations? You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's what they're banking on. What did he say, Ty? Oh,
He
you just
said
had it up
Willie
there.
Snead is mad he didn't get brought back. He knows how dope the 49ers are.
Mm,
And yeah, the 49ers went out and drafted 2 wide receivers this season and
yeah.
it didn't offer you nothing to come back, so now you're fucking pissed, of
But
course.
Conley came back though, right? But didn't Chris Conley get an opportunity? He's back.
Mhm. Yeah,
So hey, I should tell you something.
exactly. Hashtag smile. Hashtag smile. Let's get this second giveaway going before I wish I knew how long this thing goes before it resets.
Hmm.
And then
Hashtag
that way
smile.
we can get into these drafts. So hashtag smile, last call. What's up, media? I see you. Thought I saw somebody else sneak in here. Oh yeah, Carcast. What's up, Carcast? All right, hashtag smile. Let me share it.
Kale said Ray Ray's best play was helping with the blocking on CMC's run versus Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's true.
In 3 freaking years. Jesus. I was glad when they weren't signing his ass back. It's like, you want to be out there talking shit? Well, trust and believe the fans were happy to get rid of both of you.
For real.
All right, so the second giveaways are, we're drawing Fred Warner first.
Okay.
And then Debo Prismatic. Ooh, ah. And then Kittle. Good luck, everybody. This is for Fred Warner.
Tie. 2 in a row. Wow.
Congrats, sir. All right, for Debo.
After that blunder with Ray in the Super Bowl, Kyle Williams is somewhere smiling like, man, the shine is finally off of me.
Media.
He's probably like, man, I've been talked about for a long time. Finally, somebody else messed up a punt return in a playoff game and a Super Bowl. I think his was the NFC Championship. This was a Super Bowl, so it makes it worse for Ray.
All right, for Kittle. I still can't stand Kyle Williams, though.
Huh. Congratulations, Miriah.
I'm a winner, baby. Carcast. Congrats. All right. Let me get this other one set up. I saw someone as I was switching the page here. Miss Debbie. Hey, Miss Debbie. Good to see you. Hope you're wonderful. Right before I went live, I was just watching your videos of you and Niner out on his walks. The dog, man, he listens so much better than my dogs.
Niner knows that Miss Debbie don't play
stop,
that.
Sit, wait, everything. Like, he's there listening. My dogs would be running around barking like chickens with their heads cut off, man.
Really? Huh.
If they're by themselves, they listen a lot better. But if they're together, forget about it.
Like, let's give mom a hard time.
I always say they're showing off. All right.
Acting up in front of company.
Yep. Hashtag my QB to get into the last set of giveaways. Let me get this other page shared here. All right. So looking back, we're going to start with the 2017 draft. Let me get this closed. Hold on. And we're going to go through each one and see, grade it, see how bad the 49ers have done.
All right. I miss me some DJ Jones. Yeah, I can see it.
All right, so this is Kyle and John's first draft with us, 2017. Probably one of their worst.
Yeah.
First overall, Solomon Thomas. These two guys in the first round. is terrible. Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster. In the third round, we got Akella Witherspoon, CJ Beathard. So 4 for 4, not on the team. Joe Williams in the fourth round,
Oh
not on the
Lord.
team. Fifth round, George Kittle. Then we got fifth round, Trent Taylor. Sixth round, DJ Jones.
All three of those
Sixth
on the team.
round,
Oh, two of those on the team right now. Cool. PETA, huh?
one won't be.
Yeah. No.
PETA. And then AC, Adrian Colbert in the seventh round. So really, I mean, Trent Taylor barely just got signed back, but in all reality, like, I mean, he probably ain't making the team. So George Kittle, I mean, DJ Jones was somebody, right? But now he's
Love me some.
not here
Yeah.
either.
No.
So George Kittle is really the only one worth the shit from that entire first draft, the entire 2017 draft. Like, I love
Yeah.
Adrian Colbert, but he ain't, you know, like, I like him as the
Yeah.
person, not doing nothing. So looking back, 2017 draft, what grade are we giving that draft?
I'm giving that. I'm giving that a D.
I agree.
I was actually. I'll put a plus in front of it just because Kittle has been, I think coming in. I think probably his second year is when he really started to make a name for himself and being like a top 3 tight end since he's been here. So I give it a D plus. But man, like that first year, like Reuben Foster is one of the biggest what ifs, other than probably Trey
Yeah.
Lance, from the Kyle drafts. Like I wasn't even mad at that pick, honestly. Like what's funny?
No.
Like for Solomon Thomas, I wanted unfortunately, I want to see him see that on that pick because he was that same draft, and everybody, oh, you can't take a running back that high. He's more than a running back. He's a receiver. He does this. He does that. So I was really high, and I wanted him bad at number 3, but people kept telling me it was too high. But yeah, that draft, man, and it's funny because Ty said that a lot of experts had given us an A. But this was their first draft, so I kind of gave them a pass. I'm like, you know what? It was new. They were both. It was a new GM, a new head coach. So, but yeah, that Reuben Foster pick, I thought that was going to be special because I was just like, man, that's going to be a dude that is probably going to be here for a long time. Another Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis type of player, is what a lot of people thought. You know what I mean? And then Adrian Colbert was funny. His rookie year, he played a lot at free safety, and he deliver some big hits and stuff like that, but just couldn't stay in the league, which was interesting. It feels like
Yeah.
after his rookie year, he kind of regressed, which is crazy. So, yeah.
Yep. All right. 2018. We got in the first round Mike McGlinchey. Second round, oh my God, Dante Pettis. The third round, Iron Man, Fred Warner. Man, I forgot they drafted Tarvarius Moore in the third round as well. Like, I forgot he was drafted that high. Contavious Street in the fourth round. DJ Reed in the fifth round. Marcel Harris in the sixth. Julian Taylor in the seventh. And Richie James in the seventh. So Fred Warner is the only one from the 2018 draft on the 49ers still.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, we got Mike McGlinchey's entire rookie contract out of him. Say what you want about him. I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't great for being picked at number 9, but I mean, he was serviceable enough to get us through, right?
Exactly.
Dante Pettis, absolutely worthless. Obviously, we know what Fred Warner still is. Tarvarius Moore, like him and Contavious Street both, like all we got from them were a bunch of injuries, practice squad. I mean, the special teams play, like DJ Reed, like he went on to be something and still is something, but
Jets.
not for
Yeah,
us.
he's good.
Like,
Yeah.
sucks that, like unfortunate that they thought he was going to make it back down to the practice squad and he got snatched up by Seattle. And now he's on the Jets. Marcel
very
Harris,
solid, like you said. Yeah.
he's not even in the league anymore. Julian Taylor is not even in the league anymore. And Richie James, is he still on the Chiefs or?
I think he might be. I think he's on the Chiefs. I believe so.
Yeah. So And
Got a
we got, I
ring.
think, 4 years out of him.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, Fred Warner. I mean, really, what are we grading this draft? A
I
little
give
bit
this.
better than the
Oh,
last
most
one.
definitely. I'm gonna give it a C because, like you mentioned, I'm gonna give it a C because, like you said, with Mike McGlinchey, he gave us his full 5 years on his deal, whether it was up to
Mhm.
expectations or not. He was serviceable. We got to a Super Bowl with him at tackle. So he at least stayed the length of his contract. Dante Pettis, we already know how I feel about him. Dude is so soft. Fred Warner, just an epic Iron Man. If he keeps playing like that, guaranteed future Hall of Famer. You know, these other picks like the Contavia Street and the Tarvarius Moore and stuff like that. These were okay. So first of all, Contavia Street, that pick made me feel like a balky pick all over again. Dude tore his ACL and all this other stuff, and he was supposed to be a third round pick that year. So that we tried to be like, well, let's see if we can draft and stash, and that didn't work out. Now I think he's with the Saints, and he's played solid with them. Tarvarius Moore and DJ Reed. This is what bothers me. We've talked about this multiple times, Mariah. Why do you draft? Okay, DJ Reed at Kansas State was a solid outside corner, very solid.
Mhm.
Tarvarius Moore at Southern Miss was a pretty good free safety. 6'2", 200 pounds. Run a 4.3. Had the upside. But what you do, you draft them and you try to switch their positions. Let's get DJ Reed to play free safety, and let's get Tarvarius Moore to try to play outside corner.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? And that's something that I've had a gripe with this team for a long time. Like, why do you draft somebody who excelled in college at their position and then you try to change it. You know what I mean? Try to change these dudes' positions. That doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, those two right there were wastes. And like you said, with the injuries, Marcel Harris, for being a late of a pick, he did pretty good for us. Like, he was a backup. He came in, played some linebacker for us when there was some injuries. For the pick he was at, I don't mind. Same thing with James. When you draft a seventh round receiver, all you want for him to be depth. You just want somebody like a fifth, sixth receiver, and that's pretty much what he was. So, but like you said, only one on the team now is only Fred Warner. But as far as what we got out of the picks, I can't give it a D or an F. I have to give it at least a C.
All right. Let's do 2019. Hopefully each year we get better. Let's see.
Man,
Oh, this one's looking a little better here. All right.
yes.
2019, first round, obviously, Nick Bosa. Round number 2, Debo Samuel. Round number 3, Jalen Hurd.
Hmm.
Round number 4, Mitch Wishnowsky. 5, Greenlaw. 6, Caden Smith. 6, Justin Skule. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
And 6, Tim Harris.
Hmm.
So obviously we know, right? Nick Bosa. I mean, they there's basically no,
Oh,
unless Nick Bosa came into the league and was a total flop. I mean, there was no guessing, there was no nothing on the 49ers part. It was okay, Arizona takes a quarterback, we're taking Nick Bosa, right? Like
yeah.
everybody knew
Easiest
it.
pick
There was
in
no
the
surprise.
regime.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you couldn't get that one wrong. And then round 2, Debo, like, that pick number 36, and I mean, they kind of fell into that because of the Senior Bowl. Remember, like,
Yeah.
Kyle was the coach or whatever, and like fell in love with Debo there, and that's how they knew
Hmm.
about him. Like Debo wasn't even like this big name coming out of college, or like
No.
nothing like like that. So, but luckily they saw firsthand what he was with Kyle coaching him, and they were able to find that.
Hmm.
Jalen Hurts, obviously, we know the
Hmm.
story there.
Another what if.
Injuries
Yeah.
derailed his entire career. Yeah, he's our preseason MVP, our preseason goat. Like the only thing we got to see
Yeah.
him do was score touchdowns against the Cowboys in the
Against
preseason,
Dallas. Yeah.
and everybody
Yeah.
loved him from then on out, and we never got to see him again.
Crazy. Kept him for
The
3
fourth
years and
round, and I
yeah.
know people were crazy pissed off about this. A punter in the fourth round, but he's been solid.
He has.
Mitch Wishnowsky, like shit, he was like the best part of our special teams this last season. And I totally forgot. So they draft a punter in the fourth round, and then they draft a kicker in the third
In the
round, right?
third. Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. So I mean, say what you will about the spot he was drafted, but he's been pretty solid for us. And on obviously Dre Greenlaw in the fifth has been an amazing
It's
pick.
huge.
Can't even talk about enough how great that pick is. And then Caden Smith, does he still play?
I don't know. I know he was with the Giants for a while, but I don't know if he's still in the
I
league.
don't think he is. And then Justin School, we got a couple of years, a few years out of him.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. He
I
got
don't
hurt
even,
too.
yeah, full of injuries. And then Tim Harris only played a couple that he was injuries too, right? So, so we got Nick, we got Bosa, Debo, Wishnowsky, and Greenlaw. So four of the bunch are still on the team. So yeah, we're getting better each season so far.
Yeah.
What are you grading 2019?
Bosa, Debo, and Greenlaw alone give this an A-. I mean, that right there. I mean, yeah, the other guys didn't pan out. Wish, he like you said, he's been solid. Tim Harris, man, like he is funny. He was one of the it's, so funny. I was watching the UFL one day and he's on there. I saw him play and and he looked good. So it's one of those things where Tim Harris, I thought he was probably one of the draft picks who I thought, man, that's gonna be a steal, but injuries just couldn't shake this guy, you know. So but now he's finally healed and stuff. But yeah, I give this draft because of the fact that we hit like it was bangers on our first pick, like on our first two picks. Like you can now I know what's so funny about that? The people were so mad because you remember this is the DK Metcalf draft. And people were like, "Oh, why didn't we get DK Metcalf? He was there
Oh
and blah
yeah.
blah blah." So upset that because we drafted Debo over him. But I mean, look how it's panned out. So yeah, I think I give this draft a A- for sure.
Yep. What's up, Eddie? I see you. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing great. All right. So let's go on to 2020 draft. Hashtag my QB to get into the last set of giveaways. We'll draw that once we're done going through these. All right. I don't know. That's going to be hard to beat the 2019 draft.
Yeah,
then.
that's a good draft.
We got it. What did you say? A
I gave it
minus?
I gave it A-. Yeah.
A minus. All right. Oh boy, this one we barely even have any picks. And this, remember, is the COVID draft. So this was already the crazy draft as it is because it's hard to is it? Yeah, 2020.
Yeah, that's when all the GMs, everybody was in their houses. That's when Kyle would get that fake high five to somebody. Remember, they were like, "What was he high fiving to when he picked IU?"
Yeah. All right, so round one, Javon Kinlaw at pick 14. Round one, Brandon Ayuk at pick 25. And then we didn't pick again until the fifth round. Whew, that's crazy. Colton McKivitz in the fifth round. Sixth round, Charlie Warner. And the seventh round, Jawan Jennings. So Javon Kinlaw no longer on the team. We got 4 years from him, and we know obviously this last season was his best season with us. And pretty much injuries, have derailed his career from the time he was drafted up until then.
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk, we know, obviously, the GOAT that he is. Still on the team as of now, crossing my fingers that we're about to give the man his money bag. Colton McKivitz, has been, I mean, for being drafted in the 5th round, not been
Yeah,
that bad. I mean, he's
he's
starting now, so that's a
he's a
lot. I
starting
mean,
tackle. Yeah, they
yeah,
brought
for
him
a 5th
back
round
1 year
pick.
for 7 million. Can't.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For a 5th round pick to be starting in the NFL and getting, a contract after their rookie contract, like, man, like,
Hmm.
you're Charlie Warner, he was up with us until just this last year.
Yeah. Contract. Yeah.
This got a new contract with somebody else. And actually a pretty nice contract for
Yeah.
being, like the second, third
3 years,
wide
12 million.
tight end on,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, and then Jawan Jennings, obviously we know he's still on the team. He might possibly be his last year with us. But
Sad to say.
if
Yeah.
so, I'm expecting him to get quite a decent payday.
Hmm.
Wherever he ends up. But man, we know that he brings the 10 out of 10 dog factor. Hell of a pick for a freaking 7th round guy.
Straight up dog.
You obviously know, like, his first year, you got, like, injuries, and he was on the practice squad and like that whole thing. But I mean, like, he battled back from all of that. And, with what the other wide receivers are talking about, entitlement and all this shit, this guy drafted in the 7th round, pick 217, starts his career off on the practice squad and fought his entire way up to be our number 3 wide receiver.
Hmm.
Behind a 1st round pick and a 2nd round pick, like, that's pretty damn good there.
Hmm.
So what are we giving? We got Brandon Ayuk, Colton McKivitz, and Jawan Jennings. So 3 of the 5 still on the team.
Yeah. 3 of the 5. And Collie made a good point. We traded some picks to trade for Trent Williams during that draft.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's
I was wondering where
huge.
the hell the picks went. I'm like,
Yeah. So
dang.
that's huge. That's a
Crazy.
that's a good point, Collie. So in saying that, I got to give that a solid B. I mean, you have I'd say a B plus actually, because I mean, you got, like you said, we had of the draft picks, we had 5. We have 3 that are on the team still and making significant, well, playing time. Make a significant difference on our team. Like you said, Colton McKivitz. You sit there and you look at him. He spent his whole time here, and then he got to start before his rookie contract was over. Then, as a thank you for being a solid right tackle, I know people give him crap, but hey, end of the day, he's a starting right tackle and is a tackle that we went to the Super Bowl with. You know what I mean? And they thought high enough to give him a 1 year, $7 million contract. So for being a 5th round pick, you're winning. You know what I mean? Same thing for
Yeah.
Jennings. Just been an absolute dog. But he's a 7th round pick who has been our third best receiver for, I would say, a long time. Has been for a couple years. He's beaten out a 3rd round pick and a Danny Gray. All this other stuff. So yeah, I got to give that a B plus actually.
All right. 2021. Oh boy. 2021. We got 1st round. Now remember, we gotta, just as we added in Trent Williams to the last draft, we gotta add in the fact that we traded an additional 2 1st round picks. What the hell's this shit?
The heck is that? That's weird.
For Trey Lance here. So
Yeah.
Trey Lance, round 1. Round 2, we got Aaron Banks. Round 3, we have Trey Sermon and Ambry Thomas. Round 5, we have Jalen Moore, Diamador Lenore, and Talanoa Hafunga. And round 6, we have Elijah Mitchell. So obviously, we know Trey Lance ain't here anymore. 3 1st-round picks and a 4th or a 3rd,
Yeah.
something
Something
used
like
on
something
Trey
like that.
Lance.
Yeah.
Um, so quite a haul there for a quarterback that was only on the team for 2 years.
Yeah.
Aaron Banks, obviously we know he's our starting left guard. Um, been pretty solid for us there.
Yeah.
Trey Sermon, no longer on the team. He's already on his third team, so take
Yeah.
what you will for that. Ambry Thomas, he was starting for us last season. Not starting great, but he was starting. And obviously we know due to injuries and whatnot, but I highly doubt he will be starting for us come this season, but he's still on the team as of right now. We'll see what happens with the lead up to this season, but as for now, he's still here. Jalen Moore, no longer here, and was pretty injured. Well, he had injuries, and is he?
And
Is
then like
he? No, is he still here? Where is
he
he?
might be. Let me see. I don't know
Maybe
if
as a
he's.
backup.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know
he's
where he's
another
at.
one too, where where everybody they tried to put a tackle, where people thought he should have been played at guard.
Mm-hmm. Um, so as while you check that, we got
He's still
Diamador
he's
Lenore.
still with us.
Okay, so he's still here as a backup role. We'll see. He's probably, as with Ambry Thomas, they're fighting for their roster spots this season.
Man,
Diamador Lenore, stud, especially for being drafted in the 5th round, and the dude can
yes,
play outside corner, slot, can do whatever that we ask of him. Like total freaking dog. Hell of a 5th round pick, followed
yes,
by another eight picks later, another freaking stud, Talanoa Hufanga. Can't wait to get him back from injury. Hopefully, if we get back the same guy that we lost, prior to injury, um, we'll be in a good spot there. And then Elijah Mitchell, at one point was our starting running back. We know his story has been injuries as well, but I mean, he's hung on, and when he's healthy, like he's great.
beast.
You know,
Yeah,
um, just can't stay healthy.
that's
We'll
his only
see
issue.
too. Um, what his spot going into the season's looking like if he's still on the team, but currently he's still here. So we got Aaron Banks still here. So we got 6 guys from this draft still on the team. So Trey Lance, the 2 Treys, we thought it was going to be the 2 Treys leading the 49ers offense, and neither are on the freaking team anymore.
Crazy.
So what are we giving the 2021 draft?
Yeah, the Trey Lance pick, brings down this grade a lot because we lost so much capital for it.
Mm-hmm.
Just one of those things where, man, it sucks, but he was drafted. What's so funny? Before I say what I'm gonna say, out of that draft, all the first round quarterbacks are on a different team and have been traded to
Yep.
a different team except for Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
Zach Wilson
Crazy.
gone, Trey Lance gone, Justin Fields, Mac Jones gone, like all of
Going
them.
into that draft, all they said was this quarterback draft is so good, one of the best we've seen in yada yada yada
Yeah,
years. And look at it. It's
yeah,
like that shows you how
yeah.
much of the draft is just a fucking crapshoot. Like nobody fucking.
Crapshoot, yeah. And then just looking over time, I mean, you just saw that Trey Lance just wasn't going to be the guy because the patience wasn't there for him to get the reps, and the team was just he should have went to a team like Atlanta who were rebuilding instead of a team that was in the Super Bowl window. That's just what sucks about the whole thing. But then you got Aaron Banks. He's been a Pro Bowl alternate, I believe. Diarmuid Lenore has done his thing. Um, because of what has transpired and stuff. But what's good about it, I know it's only 2021, but so there's a lot of teams still on their last year of their deals. But Elijah Mitchell doing his thing. His only issue, like you said, right, was his health because he's fast. He
Mhm.
takes care of the football. That man, I don't think he's ever fumbled. Like takes
No.
care of the football. Yeah, I don't even think he's ever fumbled. Like that's crazy. So yeah, the fact that he does his thing, I'm gonna have to give it a C just because there's still a lot of people on this roster still contributing on this team. You know what I mean? And making major contributions on top of that. Like Hufanga, for instance, 6th round pick. He was a Pro Bowler a year ago before he got
Mhm.
hurt. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah, the back end of this draft wasn't that bad, but that
no,
first
at
round
all.
third round
Yeah.
pick. Man, they killed us.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the 2022 draft. Let's see. All right. So we got round 2, Drake Jackson. Round 3, TDP and Danny Gray. Round 4, Spencer Burford. Round 5, Samuel Womack. Round 6, we got Nick Zakel, Kalia Davis, and Tariq Castro Fields. And round 7, Brock Purdy. Obviously, we know Drake Jackson still on the team, kind of hanging on. Was set to start on the outside this past season. Wasn't really what anybody thought he was going to be, and then he got hurt. So we'll see what he comes back as. I mean, he's definitely still hanging on though in the
Yeah.
on the line there. TDP no longer on the team. Following Trey Sermon's footsteps and went to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Danny Gray, that he's still here, but we haven't seen absolutely
Barely.
shit from him. Like
No.
fucking hardly like a couple plays, like so crazy. Um, so he's definitely, especially after us drafting 2 wide receivers this year, he's definitely going to be fighting for his roster spot. Spencer Burford, we know he was holding down a starting spot up until that he lost his job this past season towards the end. We'll see what the future holds for him, but I mean, I think at the worst, well, he'll probably be, a backup here. I don't think they'll be getting rid of him.
No,
We
they won't
know
get rid of
if
him.
something happens, he can start. So, Samuel Womack, like we all had so much hopes for this kid, and then, like I don't know, like every time he's in on special teams, the guy's making freaking awesome plays, and
Yeah.
we just can't seem to get him on the field when it comes to defense. So don't really know what's going on there. I definitely think he's one that'll be fighting for a roster spot this season as well.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens there. Nick Zakel is still here. Yeah, he got injured last
Yeah.
year as
Yes.
well. Another one that's going to be fighting for, because now our O-line room's getting crowded there, so
Hmm.
that's going to be a good battle going on. Training camp at a bunch of spots, but O-line's definitely going to be one of them. Kalia Davis, another one that we haven't really seen much from yet.
No.
Obviously, we know like pretty much redshirted his first season due to injury and hasn't been able to get on the field since. Tariq Castro Fields, not here. Didn't even make it on the team that first season. So absolutely nothing picked for us. I don't even know where he's at, if he's even still in the league.
Who knows? Yeah.
And then Brock Purdy, obviously, we know the last pick of the draft, our savior at quarterback, because we made it all the way to the 2022 draft and still didn't have a quarterback. So what you thinking about this draft?
Um.
How many we got on the team still? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of
Probably
them.
all of them. Yeah,
No,
except for Castro Fields, huh?
and TDP.
On TDP, that guy. I was so mad when we picked him up. Um. Well, it's telling that this last draft just passed, and we didn't draft edge at all, which was surprising. So that just means that the team still has high hope for Drake Jackson. They're looking at
Yeah,
him like somebody who still has a lot of potential. The running back, wow, Danny Gray, like you said, we haven't seen him at all. His best highlight was that sideline throw that Trey Lance
yeah,
gave to him against the Packers. Like he hasn't shown anything since. Um, I think just because we have our starting quarterback, and and you can say, from what it looks from all accounts, our franchise quarterback, he helped this draft tremendously. If he was like a third string
yeah,
guy or even a second string guy, this would be a solid F. But and like you said too, we talk about the wide receiver room, But you look at the cornerback room, like you said, Samuel Womack might be fighting for his life because not only did we draft a second round corner, we got Isaac Yiadom and Rocky Sin that we brought in. So we brought in two vets. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that cornerback
Yep.
room, and we still got, we have a lot of depth in that cornerback room, especially with Daryl Luter still there in the lurks and who's lurking. But I'm gonna give it a D. I'm gonna give it a D. I can't give it an F because we found a franchise quarterback.
Yeah,
Shout out again to Brian Gracie. I don't care what nobody says. He was the one of the main reasons why this man is on this team. So shout out, like I said, you can't get an F when you have a franchise quarterback that you got out of it. So I'm gonna give it a D
but
because
that's
because
bad
of
that that's
Purdy.
our only starting guy on
Yeah,
that entire list is the
yeah,
seventh round pick. Like,
yeah. And I know Bobby Slowick too. Yeah, him and Brian Greasy were the ones who's the one who hit the table and wanted, hey, we need this Brock Purdy guy. He'll fit this system. So yeah, but Brian Greasy, we remember Mariah when he was hated on when he got the position after Scangarello left.
mhm,
But yeah, that sucks. So like you said, the only person on here,
yep,
which I think that I think, oh boy, though, Drake Jackson still has a chance to make an impact on this team. That's it.
I agree. All right,
Yep.
hashtag my QB to get into the giveaway. All right, last one, 2023. We got third round. Remember, we didn't have no first or second in
First,
this draft. So started in the third round. We got Jair Brown, we got Jake Moody, and we got Cameron Latu. The fifth round, we got Daryl Luter and Robert Beal. The sixth round, we got D Winters. And then around 7, we got Braden Willis, Ronnie Bell, and Jalen Graham. So we've only had a year to see these guys, and some we haven't even got to really see yet. Jair Brown, obviously, I'm so excited of what the future is for him. We got to see him this past season, at the end due to injuries, and he came in and was a stud right off the freaking bat. Jake Moody, obviously, we talked about this a little bit earlier. People weren't, when we were talking about Mitch, people aren't happy at the spot that we drafted them, but as long as he can, up and down rookie season, but as long as he can come in and be what we need from a kicker, like you got one job, kick the fucking football, right? Like, come on. Cameron Latu, we didn't get to see nothing of him. He pretty much lost his entire rookie season due to injury. But it's telling because
due
we
to
needed tight
injury.
end.
Yeah.
And although the 49ers were trying to get um, some vet tight ends in there, they didn't draft a tight end. So
Nope.
maybe that means we'll get to see what Cameron Latu and our other tight end we'll get to in a minute. We'll get to finally see what they have to be this season. Um, Daryl Luter, we haven't got to really see anything from him.
Mm-mm.
Robert Beal, we got a lot of hopes for him, but
Mm-hmm.
haven't got to see much from him. D Winters, the same. We got to see some little bit of play from him, but really not much yet. Ronnie Bell seemed like a stud during the preseason. Here and there, we got to see him throughout the season, but
Yeah.
not too much. And then Jalen Graham, haven't really got to see anything from him yet
Uh-uh.
either. So obviously we know Jake Moody started and played the entire season. Jair
Mm-hmm.
Brown played about, half the season into the playoffs, into the Super Bowl. Other than that, Ronnie Bell a little bit.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, like Bell was solid during that Giants game when Ayuk had to miss it. Remember, he came in, had a decent amount of yardage. He scored a touchdown. Like he
Mhm.
shows in games he can be a solid guy.
Yeah.
As Brown, I love that dude, man. Like you said, that safety room is just amazing. I can't wait to see how that pans out. And it's funny
Yeah.
because you and I going up to the draft kept saying, man, our first need on this team is safety, and that's what they addressed. Jake Moody had his bumps and bruises, but it's funny we give grace to other rookies who struggle, but then he
Mhm.
struggled and they're ready to can kick him off the team. Call back. What's old boy's name? Robbie Gold. Call Robbie Gold back, and this and that. But he showed towards the end that that he's solid, and in the Super Bowl he kicked pretty good. We talked about the
Yeah.
tight end and the edge spot. It's telling that we didn't get. Like you said, we tried to get that guy from Detroit, that tight end, and they ended up matching his contract. But other than that, we didn't draft one. So that's telling
No.
to, like I said, maybe during this off season, they all still go to the facility and train and stuff. So maybe Kyle and John been talking to a lot too, and Braden and Willis, and they see something in them to be like, nah, I don't we really don't need anybody. We don't need anybody right now.
Yeah.
Same thing with Bill, no edge. They probably see him as like, man, he has some potential. We don't need to draft an edge. So I can't give it an A, and I can't give it a F because it's so unknown right now, and we you can't blame some of these positions. Like I said, we've always been deep at wide receiver. The fact that Bell came in and got snaps over everybody when that Giants game over
Yeah.
Conley, over Danny Gray, that says something.
And
So
none
I'm
of
gonna
these
just
guys got cut, like they
no,
all are still stuck around. Like we've seen other
exactly.
drafts where like the last draft, like Tariq Castro Fields, like
Yeah, he was
he didn't
he
even
was
make
done.
he didn't even
Yeah,
make nothing the first
yeah.
season. So
Yeah, so I'm just gonna sit there and just
like a
say that
C
right
grade.
now I'm gonna give it a C. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C just because it's so unknown right now. Ty said Bell got snaps over Willie Snead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Entitlement.
so
All right, let's draw these giveaways. My QB last call to get in there. So yeah, we'll see next season at this same time. We'll take another look
hmm
and
then I
see.
can give like after 2 years, then you can give a better grade, I believe.
Yeah. All right. Let's get this up here.
Jedi, I've been saying that for a while about Juice. Like the man has hands, he runs good routes. When they brought him from Baltimore, they called him an offensive weapon, and I would love to see him play some move tight end sometimes.
All right. So drawing CMC first, and then Moody, the numbered Moody. And then Brock Purdy, and then we'll do the Patrick Willis sticker. All right. Good luck
Yeah,
for
everybody's
CMC.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying that about Juice. Yeah, I've seen a couple of times where Juice even cooked Fred Warner in practice. Like he has it in him to play tight end, but Ty, what the heck? Every single giveaway, okay.
Ty with the hat trick. All right. For Moody.
Hope that goes to Collie. Oh, he didn't enter this one. Oh, he did. That's all his name.
Miss
Miss
Deb.
Deb.
All right. Now for Brock. Brock Purdy. Media.
Media. I do, Collie. Always got jokes.
All right. And for the Patrick Willis sticker.
Dang.
Media. Media with the media with the hat trick too.
Dang.
Congrats to all the winners. All right. So real quick before we get out of here, looking at the other teams in the NFC, where do you think right now, like obviously we know the Seahawks, that team's getting a lot younger. Like they
Oh
got rid
yeah,
of a lot of their vets, this off season. But we also know like the last couple years they've drafted pretty good.
hmm
The Rams, they got Puka like this last draft. Like so we know like they lost Aaron Donald
that's
this
gonna hurt.
obviously this offseason. That's huge. Like you could draft 15 guys to take his spot. Like it ain't like there ain't replacing Aaron Donald,
Can't
right?
replace him. Yeah,
Yeah. Arizona, obviously they're getting Kyler back. Like they just drafted
Marvin
Marvin
Harrison Jr.
Harrison. So like with this other teams, like where do you think how do you think it's going to shape up this season? I think it's going to be, a lot tougher. Like I feel
Yeah,
like the 49ers had a lot easier path this past season. And
absolutely.
obviously, that's with everybody staying healthy and yada yada. But,
Mhm.
on paper right now, like where do you think that the teams in the NFC are ranking up against each other?
Man, in our division, like you
Yeah,
said,
that's what I
Aaron
mean,
Donald,
NFC West.
or the West. Oh, okay. So yeah, in our division, everybody, that you said the same. You said it best. Like the Rams look good towards the end of the season, and momentum is everything. You know what I mean? So when you look at it, yeah, they lost Aaron Donald, and like you said, no matter who they draft, you can have somebody who's solid, but nobody's gonna ever replace a Aaron Donald. The dude's a Hall of Famer, a first ballot Hall of Famer. Dude's just been an absolute physical specimen and a beast his whole career since he was a rookie. So, but you look at it, when Matthew Stafford got healthy and then Cooper Cup got healthy, that offense was looking good, and then their defense too. They fly all over the field, man. They got some young guys who looking pretty good. They're going to be the ones who I think finish second in our division. I still think we finish first, but I think it'll be the Rams, the Seahawks, and then Arizona will finish last. But Arizona, if Kyler Murray has his head right and comes in, I got to give props to that coach Gannon. Like he did
Yeah.
good with whatever he had last year. He didn't have
Mhm.
much. He didn't have Kyler Murray for most of the year. He had Joshua Dobbs playing well last year.
I
Like
mean, look
people
at
for
the Eagles look like losing Gannon, so that
yeah,
tells you what he
seriously.
could be over there in Arizona, right? Like,
Exactly. Yeah, he lost him. And like I said, he had his quarterback hurt most of the season. And if you remember, going into week 6, there was 3 quarterbacks who didn't throw interceptions: Brock Purdy, C.J. Stroud, and Joshua Dobbs. He had that man saying some good football. So now he has a beast of a receiver. I know Collie probably hated the fact that Marvin Harrison went to the Cardinals just as much as I hated Blake Corum going to the Rams from Michigan. I couldn't stand that he went there, and that now we got to deal with those two. You know what I mean, going forward too. So, yeah, it's just. I think we still got it, but I don't think we'll sweep the division like we did last year. I don't see that happen. So,
yeah,
yeah, huh? We
if
got it,
Kyler,
but huh?
if Kyler, like you said, if Kyler actually comes into the season like not playing video games and actually playing football and looking like Kyler can, and that coach I think is going to make a huge difference. I
I
think a
do too.
lot of their failure prior to this had a lot to do with Kingsbury. Like
hmm
I think he's a shitty coach. And then him and Kyler jacking around, freaking playing video games instead of playing football. Like it was just a mess. So
hmm
if Gannon can keep Kyler on track,
On track, yeah.
um, I think it's possible that Arizona beats Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a possibility. Yeah, I really think it's us and the Rams 1 and 2, but yeah, 3 and 4 could be up in the air. I think Seattle just has the better team overall at the moment. But man, like you said, if let's just be honest here. 2 years ago, we were looking at Kyler as a top 10 quarterback in the league.
Hmm.
Like the man had he has it in him. It just is his head right. You know what I mean? Like because it's crazy how they sit there and they've had to put like this thing in his contract where like he had to study film for a certain amount of
Yeah.
hours. So
That's
the fact that
crazy.
yeah, I know it's like what the heck. So
A
the fact
grown
that you
adult.
grown man who's a leader of your team, you have to put in his contract you must study this many hours of film. That's crazy to me. But the fact that you had to do that and he was still pretty solid, like I said, if he's really truly there was always talks about how he was still in his head back and forth if he still wanted to leave football to play
Yeah.
baseball and all this other stuff. But now, he's been out of baseball for a few years, and to me, baseball is a harder sport to play and to get to the top level. There's
Yeah.
so much that goes on in baseball with the triple A, double A. So now that he's probably like, okay, you know what? Let me stick to football. Let me concentrate on football. He can be a beast, and a good focus. Kyler Murray is scary. Let's be honest
Yeah.
here. Let's be
Yeah.
honest
And
here,
then
because
you
we
pair him
because
up
he
with
gave
that.
us fits.
Yeah, you pair him up with that wide receiver, like that's
Um,
gonna be tough freaking
yeah,
guarding him. Like it's
absolutely.
not gonna be no easy cakewalk in the park,
No,
no
not
matter
at all.
how good our defense is, no matter how good our cornerbacks are playing. Like that's
Yeah.
man.
So, yeah, yeah, it's gonna take them a couple of years, I think, though, just because they have a lot of holes elsewhere. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think they had a solid draft. Like I said, they're getting a starting quarterback back. But yeah, as far as us, I truly believe, and everybody keep saying we have a short window, short window. I truly believe this year is our last, like the last part of our window, because Brock Purdy's gonna get paid. He's gonna get that bag, and there's gonna unfortunately be some lost pieces, and probably a Trent Williams and all this. There's going to be some lost pieces on this team where like it's like win or now,
mhm,
win now or never type thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we got this. But I mean, I'm just glad we're not in the AFC, because I was on the show earlier and I was like, man, imagine being in the AFC going through a gauntlet. Like, let's just say that you're the Houston Texans. It's like, okay, your first round, you got the Buffalo Bills. Okay, you beat them. Second round, now you got the Baltimore Ravens. Third, now to go to the Super Bowl, you got to beat the Chiefs. Like, that's a gauntlet. You have to go through three teams, which is us. Is like, and I'm not being disrespectful, but like, we had the Packers, and then you know what I mean? Like, we just kind of, it wasn't as hard, even though they were beating us. But yeah, it's just one of those things where like the NFC has gotten stronger too. Like, everybody's talking, everybody, we all hate the Eagles, but let's just be honest here, they've gotten better too with Saquon Barkley and all this stuff. The Lions ain't going anywhere.
no.
Dan Campbell seems to be solid coach, and then the Packers are probably going to be better. So yeah, like, it's not going to be a walk in the park, but the NFC is definitely the easier conference, and I think the Niners still own this conference at the time, at this point in time right now.
Yep. All right. So tomorrow, rookie mini camp finally is here. So we'll get to see at least our young guys, see what they got going on, get some videos coming out of there, and have some more to talk about. Schedule release coming up on the 15th. So we'll get to
Mhm.
know, we know our opponents, but at least we'll get to know when we're playing our opponents. People can start planning their trips and all that fun stuff. So
Yeah,
um, tomorrow I'll be back at 3 Pacific time with Steph Sanchez for the Two Goat Show. Other than that, we're done here. Any
cool.
closing
Yeah.
thoughts, TL, before we get out of here?
No, I kind of said it with everything with how I think the NFC is going to pan out. So yeah, I just think that we got to come focus. We talked about the draft last show, but the 2024 draft, and it looks like it's one of those things where Kyle was like, I'm getting a senior or a fifth year senior. Like, he wanted 4-year players or longer. Some of them played like six because of COVID and red shirt and stuff like that. So we got some older players, which, like I said, there's going to be a learning curve going from college to the NFL, but the learning curve will be a little bit shorter because you have so many dudes that have played a lot of
Yeah.
snaps.
Yep.
So yeah,
All right, chat. We appreciate you guys so much. As always, y'all are the best. Thank you guys for coming through. Everybody that came, the beginning, the end, the middle, stayed through the whole show. Watch on replay. We appreciate you all.
appreciate you all.
Um,
Yep.
and yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. See you all tomorrow. Everybody have a great rest of your week. Safe, wonderful weekend. And me and TL will be back next week, fam. We're out
We
of here.
will. Take care, fam.